Global market just sent a major warning signal. The Nikkei was approaching another historic breakout. Bitcoin was climbing again. Gold and silver were surging. So today in video, we will break down what happened this week, the key Japanese sectors to watch, and what global investors are preparing for next week. So let's go into the video. The Nikkei 225 stayed very strong, so rallying close to 64,000 points as investors poured money into AI and export related stocks. But by Friday, profit taking triggered very selling pressure. So the Nikkei eventually closed near 61,000 and gold and silver follow the same pattern. Finally, our Bitcoin also lost momentum, so falling back to $80,000 region. So finally, the market mood shifted very quickly. So coming to global tension, one of the biggest concerns remain is US and Iran conflict. Even though a ceasefire technically exists, tension remain extremely fragile. And especially for Japan, higher oil prices are a serious problem because the country heavily depends on imported energy. Another major story this week was President Donald Trump's visit to China. So markets initially became optimistic, hoping for easing trade tension between US and Iran. So let's move on to major sectors to watch next week. Starting with the most important sector in the Japan right now remains AI and semiconductors. Japan continues benefiting from global AI boom, especially through semiconductor equipment and chip testing companies. So the key blue chip stocks to watch next week is starting from Advantest, Tokyo Electron, Disco Corporation, and the most famous SoftBank Group. Next week, Nvidia's earnings announcement could become the biggest catalyst for this sector. The second major sector is automobile. Japanese automakers continues to benefiting from the weaker yen, so which supports exports globally. So the blue chips companies to watch includes Toyota Motors and Honda Motor. However, higher fuel cost can slowing down the global demand remaining the key risk. So moving on to the most important topic, foreigners living in Japan. So what are foreign investors in Japan to watch next week? There are 4 critical events. The first, Japan's preliminary Q1 GDP report. The second, as we said, Nvidia earnings, which could drive Japan's AI sector. The third, Bank of Japan announcement, where investors will look for these signals. And the fourth, Japan's inflation data. So if inflation rises faster than expected, markets may begin pricing another Bank of Japan rate hike as early as June. So that could strengthen the yen, but potentially pressures on Japanese stocks, especially export dependent. To conclude our video, the next week could become a major turning point for Japanese market. Will AI momentum push the Nikkei towards new high, or will rising oil price, inflation fears, and global tension trigger a deeper correction? We will find out in very soon. So if you enjoyed this market breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notification for weekly Japan market analysis and blue chip stock update. Thank you. Bye-bye.